I listened to your voicemail. Mom, I don't understand. The wedding is today. Why are you not coming all of a sudden?
Don't sound so upset, honey. Your father and I don't feel well today.
What? What do you mean?
A wedding is really stressful for the bride's parents. There's so much to do and so much pressure. We have to greet all of your guests, even the ones we don't really know. And we have to be so careful with our guests. Weddings are so formal. When you really think about it, it's too stressful. We really don't have any other choice than to miss it.
Are you serious? You don't have another choice? I'm your daughter. The least you could do is try to make it through my wedding for me. Today is really important to me. Don't you see that? You really don't think you can try just for me? Please, for your little girl?
My little girl? You're my child, but honestly, honey, you aren't exactly little. You let yourself grow up into such an unattractive young woman. Your sister Elizabeth, she really took care of herself. She's still our cute little girl, even now. You, on the other hand, not so much.
Excuse me?
If Elizabeth was the one getting married today, I think we would feel up to it. She's a model. She would make such a beautiful bride. It would be like a dream to see her in a wedding gown. I know we would feel so proud to give her away in front of all our family and friends. But it isn't Elizabeth's day, is it? It's yours. And you are not going to make a pretty bride, that's for sure. It doesn't really matter how much makeup we slap on you or how tight your girdle is. It won't matter.
Oh, my bad. You're right. How terrible of me to not be as pretty as my sister, the model. But I'm still your daughter as much as she is. I get it. Elizabeth's your favorite. That's fine. But couldn't you at least show a little support for me today of all days?
It doesn't matter. I can force myself to want to be there. It is what it is. If you want to blame someone, blame that ugly face of yours.
What?
I know, we're your parents. But even still, we don't want to have to watch you stuff yourself in a wedding gown. You may be able to hide that unsightly face of yours under a veil for a while, but the groom has to live it eventually. What's the point of going to your wedding? There's nothing in it for us, and it's just a waste of our time.
If that's really how you feel, then fine. Don't come.
We aren't. Just tell everyone that we weren't well enough to come. That'll satisfy everyone. Oh, and don't worry about sending us any pictures from the ceremony or anything. I'm not interested, so don't waste your time. It'd just be embarrassing to see you in a big white dress.
Enough! I've put up with you being like this my entire life, but everyone has their limits. This is the last straw for me. You only want Elizabeth to be your daughter? Fine by me. From this day forward, consider it done. I'm not your daughter. You aren't my parents.
I won't ever come to your house again. I won't call you again. I won't see you again.
That's fine with me.
We'll be happier with having one gorgeous, successful daughter.
Hey, Amber. Are Mom and Dad really staying home? I just got off the phone with them.
Yeah, they aren't coming. They aren't feeling very well, they said.
I'm your sister. You can tell everyone else whatever you want, but you don't have to lie to me. I don't know why they're being like this or what exactly is going on, but they said they didn't want to come. They said they didn't want to, brother.
They told you?
To be totally honest, they asked me to skip it too. They said I'm just so busy with my modeling job that I shouldn't stress myself out. They told me it would be okay for me to just skip your wedding.
You're kidding. They seriously told you that? I can't believe it.
Obviously, I told them no. There's no way I'm doing that. Of course, I'm coming to your wedding. I can't wait to watch you say I do. And we're going to dance and party hard after. Can you even imagine? I've never skipped my big sister's special day.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That means a lot to me. Even if Mom and Dad won't come, it's going to be all right. If I have you with me, it's still going to be a good day.
You shouldn't have to say thank you for that. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I want to tell you that I'm really sorry, though. Today's a really special day. I wish I could have stopped Mom and Dad from trying to ruin it for you.
Don't be silly. It isn't your fault. You have nothing to apologize for.
I can help but feel responsible. Ever since they started modeling, Mom has gotten so weird. I think that's when it all started. She fawns over me and acts like I can do no wrong. And she's become so mean and cold to you. I feel like it's somehow my fault.
Don't feel bad. It isn't your fault. They're just getting caught up in the moment. They're happy because they're the talk of the neighborhood now. Now that you're modeling, I'm becoming a little bit famous. They feel like they're celebrities in their own right. You haven't done anything wrong.
But where is she even getting off on insulting you? You're cute too. Look at our faces. All the parts are practically the same. We look a lot alike, I think. When I go to work, they spend hours putting me through hair and makeup. That's where most of the magic really comes from. That's the only real difference that I can see.
That's sweet of you to say, but I don't think so. We're more different than you realize. Besides, I could never get all dressed up like you do when I go to work. I'm a pastry chef. My hair is always just up in a messy bun and I don't wear any makeup at all. I think Mom and Dad think I've just let myself go and don't make any effort in my appearance. I don't think they're interested in someone like me. Or at least the person they think I am.
Ah, so frustrating.
It's okay. Really. I have a wonderful and supportive sister. That's all I really need. Besides, you know what I would rather have at my wedding? Instead of my parents sulking and complaining on the front row, I get to have my beautiful sister standing beside me. I know that I get to see her smiling face when I say I do. And I get to hug you and dance with you at the reception. It's going to be a happy wedding for me.
Leave it to me, Amber. I'm going to keep you smiling the whole night. We're going to celebrate. Oh, I got an idea. Since Mom and Dad aren't coming, it is okay with you if I bring my manager and a friend of mine? I've always wanted them to meet you and they can fit Mom and Dad's seats.
Really?
Yeah, you know how I always ask you to have some of your beautiful cakes or pastries delivered when we have a shoot? You make the best sweets. They're always so perfect, not too sweet, not too savory. Perfect texture. They're so good. Everyone loves them. I have one friend in particular that always loves them and can't get enough of them. He's always saying he wants to do an article about you and your work in his magazine.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you made your own wedding cake, didn't you? I told him you were going to do that and he thought it would be a cool thing to cover. I just never wanted to bring any of my work friends around Mom and Dad. Especially Mom. You never know what she's going to say. I know it wasn't right of me to tell him no without asking you, but I couldn't bear to bring them when I thought Mom was going to be here.
Oh no. Don't worry, you made the right call. You and I both know they would have forced themselves into the article somehow. There's no way Mom would be able to keep it to herself. They'd ruin it for sure. And they've both gone on and on about how they want to meet the people you work with. They won't let it go.
Exactly. I'm glad you saw that. Believe it or not, they want to try to start their own modeling careers. I'm literally scared to ever let them meet my manager. I think it would be so embarrassing for everyone and it might be bad for my career too.
That makes sense to me.
But if Mom and Dad aren't going to be here, I was thinking I could give them a call and see if they come. My manager is really cool. I know he'd want to come out and celebrate with us. He's always talking about how when you belong to an agency, you're all part of a big family. And he says that makes your own personal family important too. It's basically a policy for the agency to always make sure our families are taken care of too.
If that's how it is, go ahead and give them a call. I don't mind at all. We have an all-inclusive package with the venue, and they really went overboard with all the food and drinks. It doesn't matter if we have some extra people come. They account for that. I'll tell the staff to make sure there are extra chairs and seats available.
Awesome. I'll call them right now. I'll let you know. Honestly, I'm pretty sure they're in the office today, so that means they are super close by. I'm also positive they'll be able to make it.
I feel so lucky. I'm getting to have my wedding with people who care about me. I'm getting an article printed about my work in an actual magazine. I'm going to get to meet the people that take care of my baby sister every day, too. What a roller coaster. I went from being sad to realizing this is going to be one of the most amazing and unforgettable days of my life.
Sweet. She texted me that. They both can make it, even my manager. They'll be here before you know it. I can't wait for you to meet the two of them.
Thank you so much. I've got to start getting ready, but I'll see you at the venue. What do you think you're doing? And in the middle of my wedding, too? You already canceled. What do you want all of a sudden?
You finally answered your phone. The staff won't let us come into the venue. Tell them to let us in, Amber. We decided we should come to the wedding after all.
Excuse me? We heard everything from your auntie. How come you're being interviewed? What's going on?
I'm sure the person interviewing you will want to talk to us too, of course.
Oh, of course. You only came to get something for yourselves. Why am I not surprised?
Our oldest daughter is a famous pastry chef, and our youngest is a model. They're going to want to talk to the parents that raised such amazing women. I know they'll have questions for us. We made sure to look our absolute best. Obviously, they'll want to photograph us too.
I don't mean to be rude, but this is where we're having my wedding. If you're just here to try to get an interview, then please leave.
You should just be glad we showed up to your wedding, you ungrateful cow. We brought you a little wedding gift. It's some cash. Is that enough to get us in?
Excuse me?
When we get interviewed, we want to make sure they know we came to celebrate you and that we were very generous to you. You ugly thing. I want them to know how generous we really are. Now hurry up and tell the staff to let us in already. Your parents are here to celebrate with you. Let us in this minute.
Who do you think you are?
What?
You said you're my parents. But that's funny because I could have sworn we both agreed that I don't have parents just a few hours ago. So you can go ahead and leave now. I have zero reason to let you come in.
Oh, come on, Amber. Don't be silly. What on earth do you mean you don't have parents?
I'll say it one more time. I don't have parents. I told you, you crossed a line. I'm no longer your daughter, and when I think of my parents, it's no different than thinking of someone who passed away.
You can't be serious.
Oh, but I am. All you are doing is disturbing and irritating the staff. Please leave. If you don't leave now, I am going to have to call security. And if necessary, we will call the police.
Wait just a moment. I told you, your father and I want to be a part of your special day. Don't you think it's awful to kick us out on such a special occasion?
Awful? Didn't you say you didn't have any interest in seeing me here today? You didn't even want to see a picture of me in my dress. Don't you think you're the awful one to say all of that to me? And then to still show up? You have a lot of nerve thinking you can pull this crap with me.
How can you say that to your own mother?
Also, I know you were hoping to try it again in that interview, but it's already over. They did a really amazing job. They got some beautiful photographs of the cake and of the wedding party. They didn't want to interrupt the actual ceremony, so they thanked us and left as soon as the interview was over.
What? It's all your fault we didn't make it in time. If you would let us in as soon as we got here, this wouldn't be happening. We would have been able to meet them and get our picture in the magazine too.
That's never going to happen, you jerk!
Who are you calling a jerk? You wretched girl! How can you speak to me that way? You're right. This is the last straw. You aren't our daughter. I don't want to know a daughter who would turn her parents away from her wedding. We don't need a daughter other than Elizabeth. We're perfectly happy to have one child.
I'm sorry, Mom, but to be completely honest with you, I don't want to be your daughter either.
What? I'm confused. Is that you, Elizabeth?
Yes, it's me. I'm holding Amber's phone. I tell you what, if Amber isn't going to be your daughter, then I don't want to be either. I love my sister. I'd rather stand by her and keep her in my life.
What are you saying, Elizabeth? Don't be ridiculous. I'll never forgive you if you abandon us.
I don't care if you forgive me or not. That isn't important to me right now. You never treat us the same. Parents should love their children equally. Who would want their parents to treat their sister like that? That's not fair.
What are you saying?
I know it's perfectly normal to love people differently. You love different things about each person. But you two are something else. I've never heard of anybody canceling all their daughters on her wedding day. It's unbelievable. It's one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. It's so off-putting and rude. I can hardly stand it.
Why are you getting so upset, Elizabeth? Your father and I have done everything we can for you. We always put you first and tote on you. If your sister wants to be angry, I can understand that. But you have nothing to be upset about.
You can't be that dense. You think I like being your little pet? I've never asked for any of that. I never wanted you to love me more or treat me better. And you don't even love me like a normal parent. You just suffocate me and harass me. Do you really think I never noticed how differently you treat Amber and I? Or that I wanted that? Every time you treated me kindly and pushed her down, I found nothing but contempt. I've gotten angrier and angrier by the day.
I didn't know.
No, you should have. I warned you. And you always said that my sister put me up to it. But she didn't. I was telling you how I felt from the bottom of my heart. You never listened to a word I was saying. You were always so mean to her. Even though she's your own daughter, you've done nothing but make her life harder. You don't understand anything, do you?
But we were always so good to you. You're our beautiful little girl. We always let you know how wonderful you are.
Sure, I'm pretty. Who cares? My sister is wonderful too. Even now, you aren't listening to me. You don't get it at all. I should disown you after all. Thanks for letting me know I'm making the right decision. I won't see you ever again, not over my own grave.
Why are you being like this?
I've signed up for a big contract. I'm going to be really busy in the future. I'm glad this happened today so I had the chance to set things right. You're no longer my mother. Dad is no longer my father. We are done. I won't ever come home again, either.
Don't say that. Wait just a moment, please. I'm sure your job is very important. But you can't be too busy to see us. Not just us, but for all of our family and friends. Everyone in the neighborhood. It's important to them too.
What's this? Suddenly, you aren't going to be supportive of my work? Don't you always talk about how much you have to endure to support having such a beautiful and important daughter?
Well, of course we support you. But how can we support you if you won't see us? I'm begging you. Don't abandon us. Come see us soon. If we don't have you, what would we tell everyone? How could we tell our neighbors? We're so proud of you. We wouldn't be able to brag about you anymore.
It's a funny world we're living in. My fans have never met me before, and they all support me completely. They just see me active in social media and send me so much love. It really keeps me going. They always support me from behind the scenes. They're truly there for me, and I can feel it. My fans can love and support me from afar, and my parents can't even do that. You say you won't support me if you can't see me or show me off to your friends?
But we aren't the same as your fans. We're your parents. We gave you life. We raised you.
You aren't my parents or my fans.
What's that supposed to mean?
Real parents wouldn't hurt their daughters like you do. They wouldn't withhold love from their own children. And fans don't make it about themselves. They love and support you for you, not for themselves. All you care about is making sure the people around you think you're better than them. That's it. You just want little dolls you can control and show off to everyone else.
Where is all this anger even coming from, Elizabeth? I know you're really busy with work. Is it all the stress you're under? Why don't we just calm down and talk this out?
I've already made my decision. If nothing else, this conversation has made it for me. It's over. There is no way I'm ever seeing you again. I will never come home. I will never call you. I will never be your daughter again.
What?
That's it. Goodbye, Mom. Tell Dad goodbye. I wish you well, but I want nothing to do with you. I'm going to change my number and all my contact information. You can't support me from your phone screens because you'll only see me if you follow me on social media.
Amber, what are we going to do? Elizabeth really won't have anything to do with us. We haven't been able to get in contact with her since her wedding.
I'm not surprised. She's been out of the country for days now.
Huh? Out of the country? I had no idea.
That, and she changed her phone number and usernames for texting. The only person that really knows where she is right now is her manager.
You're lying. She never told me she would be going overseas for work.
I know she told you she would taken a contract for a really big job. She's really amazing, isn't she? I'm really proud to be her sister.
Don't be so full of yourself. There's nothing special about working abroad. I can't believe she would take such a big job and not say anything to her own parents about it. She just left without a word, and she didn't even tell us how to get in contact with her. What a brat! No one with that kind of ungrateful attitude is going to get more famous than she already is. That can end a career. And who does she even think she is? She's not even that pretty. And she's so full of herself, thinking she can just cut us off. I'm the one that brought her into this world. How dare she treat me like a nobody? Who needs a daughter like that? I've practically forgotten her already. Amber, you're our only daughter now.
Oh, no, I'm not. We already talked about this. I'm through with you. Don't act all nice to me all of a sudden. It won't do you any good.
Don't be so gruff, Amber. It's more important to have a clever and faithful daughter than it is to have a pretty one.
What now?
You're leading a decent life. You've gotten married and you've settled down. You even live nearby. You're the best daughter one could hope for. The child we are most proud of is you, our dependable daughter. I don't care what you look like. You're good enough just the way you are. What's important is that you are a good, independent daughter that honors her parents.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm not that good and dependable. Remember, I'm the daughter that does things like get tattoos.
What? And I'm also thinking about transferring to a different shop.
We are planning to move. I'll be taking a job pretty far away. So I won't be around to take care of you or do anything for you.
Wait just a minute. Go back to what you said before. You've got a tattoo? Since when? And I didn't even know you were moving. You've been at the same restaurant for ages. Where are you going? These are big and important decisions. When did you decide?
I decided to leave the restaurant about half a year ago, and the tattoos have been there for a while. I guess I got my first one around the same time Elizabeth started modeling. It was when you first started ignoring me and spending all your time paying attention to Elizabeth.
What are you talking about?
To be honest, I probably got the first one because I felt like I didn't have any real value to you anymore. It was because I was angry. But I liked it so much, so I got a few more. Most of them are on my back or my legs, but I want to get a full sleeve soon.
You have that many?
I guess I can tell you this now since I won't be seeing you again. But I also have a few piercings. I've got my nose done and my eyebrows too. I don't leave them in when I'm at work. It wouldn't do to have them fall out in someone's cake. But I do put them on during my days off.
How did I not know that? And why would you do that to your face? I didn't raise you to put a bunch of metal in your body, even if you aren't as pretty as Elizabeth. There was no need to ruin your body like that. You may not have a good face, but you work really hard to be a chef. You must look like some punk instead of a fancy chef. I never imagined you would do something like that.
Well, think about it. You never had anything nice to say about me. Is it so surprising I'd find ways of expressing myself? You can't pour all of your loathing into your child and then act like a victim when she doesn't grow up to be perfect. Or at least what you think of as perfect.
I don't understand.
From the time we were little, you have always compared me to Elizabeth. You always told me how beautiful she was and how ugly I was. All I could do was try to be a good daughter. That was never enough for you. You were still so mean to me all the time. So I got angry and started getting tattoos and piercings. But then I fell in love with them. They can be really beautiful, you know?
Don't blame me for your poor decisions.
I don't blame you. I made the decision myself, and I'm glad I did. But if you want to know why I originally started, then yeah, it was partly because of you, too.
How can you say that? We were always good parents to you. We don't have anything to do with it.
Are you saying that because you really believe it? Children are a reflection of their parents. You reap what you sow. Keep that in mind if you don't like who your children became. One daughter won't speak to you. The other is moving far away and doesn't want anything to do with you. You did this to yourself.
This isn't a laughing matter. And to think that I thought I would start putting more time and energy into our relationship. It's fine. Don't come around here ever again. I don't want the neighbors to laugh at us when they see you all pierced and tattooed. I won't have it.
I wouldn't come near you if you begged me. I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. I don't want you to come near me ever again, either. Don't even try to be nice to me again. Even if you need something, even if you become desperate, don't call me. If you lose everything, if the house burns down, if you grow so old or ill that you need to be cared for, I don't care. Don't call me.
Are you serious? Even if we are in desperate need of help? Surely we can contact you then.
No, not even then. I've already decided I want nothing to do with you, you fool. The only family I have are my husband and my sister. That's it. This is the last time I'll say it, so listen closely. You are not my family. After that, I sent some pictures of my tattoos to my sister. I wanted to show her my newest one. I'd always hidden them because I knew our parents wouldn't have approved, and I wasn't sure what she would think. She texted back, "Are those real? I can't believe it. So cool. I'm so lucky to have such a good sister, and she always has my back." After I got featured in the magazine, my reputation was solid in the baking world. When I transferred to the new shop, where I'm head pastry chef, by the way, they hung a copy up in the lobby. They were popular before, but the waitlist to get in was weeks long after that. I'm lucky to say I have a really happy life. Every day has its own challenges, of course, but overall things are going really well. My mother, on the other hand, is living her worst nightmare. Everyone knows that both of her daughters have left and refuse to acknowledge her ever again. The rumors going around are pretty wild. Some people even think I didn't even invite her to my wedding. I've heard so many different reasons for the family to break up. Some of them are closer to true than others. Either way, gossip follows my mother everywhere she goes. She's been taken down a peg for once, and has nothing to brag about to anyone. My father is getting his fair share too, though. I hear he doesn't even go out much anymore. I think they're both too embarrassed to spend much time out socializing anymore. They always love the spotlight, but it's hard to be the center of attention when it's for something bad.